And so there was a lot of build up to meeting my husband. But by the time I met him, I was in my 27, 20, something like that. And I was in the middle of this breaking open. At 25, I left Citigroup, investment banking, quit my whole life, moved to Southern California kind of on a whim, did something totally uncharacteristic up until that point of my life, kind of let go of those dreams, and had been working at this company that was doing coaching and learning about all this transformation and Wayne Dyer and The Secret. And so I meet my husband, and I want to believe that this is possible. You know, they're saying all these amazing things and The Secret, and this is you're able to have this dream mate who you just adore every day. And then I look at my mind and at my actual beliefs, and I just don't really believe that's possible. And here's my happy-go-lucky husband that comes along, and we start courting each other, and it was very much touch and go, because there was a lot of patterns that I had that weren't serving me. There was a lot of passive-aggressive things. There was a lot of challenges in communication, a lot of feeling unworthy, undeserving. Through it all, being unreasonable was that I dared to believe that if it's not him, it's going to be someone. I just decided I'd rather be alone than be unhappy. But really what I said was that alignment matters more than anything. And being unreasonable was to say, well, let's see where this goes. I'm going to trust that there's something there for us if it's calling us. And being able to recognize, which is the second step, that everything is divine, is even in the middle of contrast. We broke up twice in our relationship. I had this feeling, and this is what I want to talk about, intuition, but it's hard to describe intuition. Unless I sit individually with each of you and help you tune into your body, then you really can get it. To me, it's a very somatic, a very body experience. But I remember telling my friend Doyle, I don't know why, I don't know how, but I just still feel such connection to this guy. Even though he's fucked up, and he said this, and I did this, and blah, 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 blah. There were all these stories. And yet I felt like there was something deep in me that felt a connection, and I couldn't explain what it was. And thank God I listened to it, because I feel like that's what actually not just saved our relationship. I feel like that's what allowed the version of ourselves who could be those people that we wanted to be to actually come up and show up and be our reality. So I had to be unreasonable. I had to believe it's possible for me. I had to trust that whatever is happening for my good. And then the last step was to allow. And so I did a lot of, at the time, trying to learn soothing techniques. I had lots of sabotaging type of experiences earlier in my life, and binge eating and self-hatred. I didn't go into drugs or cutting myself, but got pretty close to all of those. And so at this time in my life, I was starting to learn how to soothe myself. And sometimes it would just be rocking myself as I'm crying, calling a friend, going to the beach. I mean, whatever I could, because up until that point, I didn't even think that soothing myself was important. I was like, no, I got to figure out the answer to this problem. Forget soothing. Like, gotta get an answer. Is this guy right or not? Like, that's what I would have done in my previous relationship. Pro and con list. Do you know what I mean? Soothing was not on the agenda in there. And so even though this was touch and go, I feel like it got easier and easier and easier. And now I feel like I hope I don't cry today because my makeup will run, but I love him so much more every day than I ever imagined loving anyone. And it's not because it's him. It's because I feel like I've molded myself into the person who could be in this relationship. And what a good investment it was to practice this with him.